So welcome, welcome. We're going to be getting started pretty soon. I think I'll go ahead and we'll kind of get started a little bit. So some of you guys here may know me, may already follow me. Maybe you guys, got the email that has, had a bunch of my info, or maybe not. But if you're late to the party, I'm just going to kind of do a quick intro about myself. I do this a lot, talk with my hands a lot. I am Tanya Marie Figueras Kreisinger. I go by Tanya MFK because usually no one can type in Figueras or Kreisinger, so it's a lot easier to just do Tanya MFK. And honestly, obviously, just call me Tanya. I've been marketing for 16 years in the CPG space for a long time. I've attended fancy foods, winter, summer, Expo East, Expo West. If you've been exhibiting there at all, you've probably seen me a 5-foot flash run by you at some point in time.
You work with. I said, or one of the many brands she's worked with. You probably designed something.
A lot of your guys' brands that I saw coming in today, I'm very familiar with them. I've seen them at past shows or in product news or whatnot. So I'm not actually just stalking you guys. I do see a lot of what's going on in the space there. So I've worked with all types of levels and individuals. I've worked with Grammy-nominated artists all the way into Fortune 500 companies, startup companies, and just recently my neighbor's daughter's dog sitting business. What happens when your neighbors find out what you do. So I've worked with all different types, all different levels, guys. I'm also a mom. I am a wife. I make my own toothpaste, deodorant, cheese. I'm a serial traveler, as you can see there. And I've also been told I'm kind of a smart ass. So I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time. You'll have to make up your own mind. So Build-A-Biz is my company. You may have seen this brand floating around during some of our emails and stuff that have gone out. We call ourselves the Entrepreneur Sherpas, and I really felt that was the best way for us to explain ourselves. We started basically as an outsourced marketing company, marketing for all these businesses in this industry. And again, that's probably why you would see me at different booths, at different expos. And as we started to do this, we started to notice that, a lot of these companies weren't ready. And we got to a point where we're like, we can't help you yet because you don't have XYZ ready. So essentially, we were turning down business. And as we were turning down business, we were like, hey, this isn't a really good profit model for us right now. So maybe we need to see if there's something that we can do to help these companies get ready to accept the influx that a marketing plan will provide. If we get you, 3,000 clients and you can't handle 5, what good does it really do that we can do that? So that's how we started Build-A-Biz and what we're doing now. And we just kind of created a space where entrepreneurs can execute. What we have here, our mantra is learn, hustle, execute, and repeat. So we created a space where you can learn, you can make sure you're getting your stuff done, and execution is a huge part because there's a lot of places that teach you stuff, and you can go to a seminar or a webinar like this over the weekend and get all these ideas and find out all the stuff you're behind about, and then you're so overwhelmed that you don't know where to start, you don't get started, and it just becomes another thing on the to-do list. So we really focus on the execution. So when you're involved in some of our courses or things like that, you will walk away with a finished product. You walk away with things being actually done, and I think that's huge. So again, as I kind of mentioned there, we do courses, mastermind groups, one-to-one sessions, and we actually have Build-A-Biz boot camp retreats. You can see some photos from our past retreats as well. And actually this year, we're looking at maybe even doing a Costa Rica retreat for one of our Build-A-Biz retreats, so we're really excited about that.
On that one.
So, I know, right? Yes, and I'm going to be trying to get Annie up to that one, for sure, so we can work out with your schedule there. I'm going to be honest, guys, I do have notes. I'm not a professional news anchor, so I'm going to have to look at what I'm doing here a couple times and make sure that I know what's going on. So anyway, there's plenty of stuff. I don't want to bore you guys. Anything else you want to know about the industries I've worked in or specific companies, that's what LinkedIn is for. I have a very long bio there. Feel free to check it out. Follow us. So right now what I'd like to do is something a little fun. We're going to do a little poll here. So I'm going to throw up that poll. So there's 4 things about me. One of them is a lie. So of the 4 things, I'm going to go through them real quick, and you can just pick which one is the lie. I lived at the Shaolin Temple in China doing Kung Fu. I love spoonfuls of wasabi. The poll disappeared. I'm not even sure where it just went. I once stayed completely silent for 10 days in a jungle in Thailand. And I've been on stage with members of the Wu-Tang Clan. So I'd love to see you guys, what are your guesses on which one is the lie? Anything there? I don't get to see the poll.
I only see 1 voting. Come on, guys. I got 2 votes. Let's see.
I think the funny part is that, yeah, only one of those is a lie. All right. So I'll go ahead and give you the answer there, guys. The answer is wasabi. I hate wasabi. I love spicy food, but I absolutely hate wasabi. I can't get down with it. It's not my thing. So yeah, not wasabi. But yes, lived at the Shaolin Temple doing Kung Fu, met my husband there, been on stage with members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and I, believe it or not, was silent for 10 days in Thailand. So anyway, moving on, I want to do a quick introduction to our co-host today, Miss Annie Zahn. I am so thankful that you had time to be with us today. Annie is just she's an amazing woman. She's National Sales Director. Her and I have done work together off and on for the last 10 years. And, you know, food industry sales are a beast. And hashtag know your strengths. This is not one of them. And I would not have been able to offer what Annie's going to be able to offer for you guys today in reviewing sales in this industry. So again, thank you so much, Annie, for taking the time to be with us today. And if you just go ahead and do a little introduction of yourself to everybody before we get started.
Hi, guys. Of course. Like Tanya said, I'm Annie Zahn. I've been in the industry for almost 10 years, worked on and off with Tanya throughout that time as well. I've worked with brands such as Nestle, Kind. I've worked with a ton of startups, and most recently I'm actually with Pumpkin Free Organics. I have worked in pretty much every category in the grocery store. I've worked in baby food, pet food, beverages, snack bars, granolas, you name it, I've probably worked in it, including ketchup. So across the board. Yeah. But, you know, honestly, that's really boring. And like Tanya said, you can read all that on LinkedIn. So I really want to join in on Tanya's game. So I'm going to throw out my own poll for you guys here. So 3 of these are true. 1 is a lie. I was a childhood actress and model. I have never seen the movies Fargo or Fight Club or Clue. Apparently my spelling needs some work. I have jumped off a bridge, a cliff, and out of a plane. I've been a bartender, and I make a mean caipirinha. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to make a guess on me. Do 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 do. That was almost the Jeopardy theme. Oh, it looks like we've got a couple votes in. I'll go ahead and tell you guys. You're all right. I have seen the movies Fargo and Fight Club. The lie was B. I've never seen the movies. Personally, I think they're complete classics. Don't you know? You know, that's my best Fargo impersonation I could make. But that's
nice. So 100% truth be told, guys, I actually have not seen those movies. I am the worst person when it comes to talking to about movies. Like, I haven't seen it. Don't even bother. Like, oh, you know that one? I don't know it. I'm just awful. So anyway, so like I said, you guys, without further ado, let's just jump right into this. We have the 5 most important things to do at Fancy Foods. I want to go through this first section relatively quickly because Annie has really prepared a really in-depth sales section for you guys, as well as marketing. And let's be honest, you know, that's what you know, is the meat of what you need to know to really get your product out there. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. And what we are starting with is preparing. And I'm going to just turn my camera off for a second so we can just dive a little deeper into that. So give me a moment to learn how to do this. Oh, not yet. Now can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. It takes a couple of moments there. Okay, so what we're going to start with is the most obvious, right? Prepare. You guys need to prepare. But the thing is that a lot of people aren't paying attention to the most important things. You know, everyone's so focused on their booth, on their product, on their samples, that they're missing a lot of really important items in the preparation section. So let's talk about some of the nitty-gritty, not so exciting show planning details. The first thing I want to go over are the booth deadlines. Obviously, for your package and your discounts, you know, you want to make sure you know these deadlines. You want to make sure you know the date for your scanner. If you guys are using CompuLead, that's CompuLead up there. If you're getting a scanner, which we recommend, we talk about this a lot later in our booth section, but let's make sure you understand the deadline for that and everything. You also, the discounts for Freeman services, that's things like booth cleaning, labor, furnishings, equipment rental. Your move-in and move-out dates and times. You don't get to show up whenever you want. There is a process for that. So show directory and advertising, we are going to discuss this a lot more in another section as well, but again, these are deadlines you should be aware of. Business builders is a huge thing. We are going to talk about that a lot as well, but again, we're starting on deadlines, so just know the deadlines for that. Pre-booth selection, if you know that you are going to be attending next year, pre-booth selection is a phenomenal thing to make sure that you sign up for, so you are getting through, to make sure that you are, you know, you get to have the discounts and you can choose your booth for the following year and get prime location. So these are some deadlines that a lot of people miss, and here's the thing, it's one thing to maybe miss out, but a lot of times these are things that you need, and when you miss the deadline, they are very, very costly. So make sure you know these deadlines, and the pro tip that we have for you here is to put all the deadlines in a reminder app or set reminders for 1 week, 1 day, and even the day of when these things are due. Don't trust your instincts. You're going to be so busy. Just put it down and set a reminder for yourself. So the next section there is something that also gets, you know, ignored a lot, is the behind the scenes. This can be especially confusing if you've never done a trade show before. You need to understand what these things are and how they work. There are protocols and costs to everything. So starting with delivery, how is your product getting to, in this case, the Javits Center in New York? How is it getting there? There are protocols of this. It doesn't get to just show up. It's not a UPS package you leave at the door. There are protocols to this. So if you do decide to go the route where it's going to the Javits Center, you need to make sure that you understand the protocols behind it. Same thing goes for storage and storage fees. If you do send your product, again, they don't just let it hang out in the hall until the day starts. It needs to go somewhere. Even more so if you have a product that needs refrigeration or freezing or something like that. So in either case, make sure you're aware of the storage fees. Drayage, a lot of people don't even know what that word is. That is how they get it from wherever it's being stored to your actual booth. It's not somewhere where you get to just go and pick it up. You need to understand drayage and the potential fees that go along with that. It's all different for each show and each level of booth that you choose.
And that's a timely process. You know, they don't give you, hey, it'll be there at 3 o'clock. They say, hey, it'll be there on Monday. So you've got to really have a good system for that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely got to know. You know, it seems so simple, like, oh, I just get my stuff to my booth, but it's not. You know, they're coordinating thousands of exhibitors, as you know. So the next thing too, again, electricity, guys, that's one that I'm telling you that price goes up significantly if you miss that deadline. You do not want to realize that you forgot to, you know, cross the T and dot an I the day of the show and pay, you know, $500 plus extra for that outlet. So that, and again, also equipment rentals, you know, if you need, you know, booth refrigeration, or freezer, you know, ovens, whatever it is. Again, just make sure you know what these are, because everything has protocols, deadlines, and fees. So next section, so this is our pro tip, guys. I love this one. So when you're sending in your request for these items that you may be using, you know, refrigeration, storage, whatnot, put your credit card authorization on the form prior to the show starting. This will save you from having to wait in line to get your product. And this isn't just like, oh, you know, I'm not bothered by, you know, a 20-minute line. we're talking 2 hours or more sometimes to sit in this line simply because you didn't put a credit card authorization on file and you have to wait in line with all these other people who didn't do it to pay. So don't be that one whose product is sitting off to the side right in front of them melting that they can't get because they didn't pay yet and they didn't put their credit card authorization on file. So this one, guys, so simple.
We're not going to give you your product if you haven't paid for them to do it. So just remember.
Right. So this one, just a really quick note, guys. A lot of people, their first time exhibiting, they kind of laugh at the idea of, you have to pay for carpet and pay for padding. I just want to say it is probably the best investment you will ever make at your booth. You would be surprised how far a tiny thing of padding goes. If padding is not in your budget, and I do get that, try to find like an anti-fatigue mat or something at like, a local Target or anything, whatever is local in your area. And whatever hassle you have to like fit it in your suitcase, trust me, totally worth it. I'm telling you, happy feet, happy, happy feet, happy booth, happy, cushy, lovely environment. Just make it happen.
Guys, find money in your budget. I can't explain to you how important that one is, because when people get fatigued and their feet hurt, they're not happy, and nobody wants to buy things from unhappy people.
Yeah, when you're kind of doing like the dance one leg to the other, I mean, it's just, we've seen it too many times. It's worth every penny. It really is, or every hassle. So going on really to prepare, guys, I just want to run through this section real quick. Fancy Food Show is an investment. It's not free, right? You're paying good money, not only to be there and exhibit, but probably to get there. They, Officially Food Association has put together a lot of events around the show floor, that's going on besides you and your booth. Try to take advantage of what makes sense for you and your company. There are so many different things here. They're all listed here. And if you go on the website, you can find more details. I'm not going to go through every single thing here. There's a few we'll touch on later. But, find out what you want to do, make a schedule and plan for it. And again, just go and check the details further on the SFA site. But there's a lot going on there, and you want to get your money's worth of what you've invested to get you and your team there.
Guys, that was an amazing list of events. If you didn't get a chance to, take a screenshot of it. Just take a quick snapshot with your phone or on your computer so that you have a reference of what you should really be making sure that you're targeting when you're at the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call there. Snapshots, everybody. Snapshots. There you go. All right. So moving on to our preparation section, guys, just a quick one. We're going to touch on the booth a few times during this webinar, but just for the preparation section, obviously you're planning your booth. I want to really stress function over fancy. I've seen too many booths, get really cool and decked out and have no function. People can't see the product. Things are getting knocked over. Function is way more important than fancy. So don't do this. Yes, your booth needs to have some pizzazz, but let the product take center stage. The next thing is to plan thoroughly. What exactly will the table be used for? Do we need 2 tables? Will the pop-up sign take up valuable floor space? Does the banner image height make sense? All these little things, which, again, in the preparation, this is usually where exhibitors spend most of their time. As you've learned in this section, there's a lot more to be paying attention to. But, of course, yes, these are things you need to look at as well. Also, make a list of every little thing that you need to pack. I mean, every little thing. If it's a push pin, if it's a paper clip, I don't care. Write it down. Because I'm telling you, you think, oh, I'll forget it and I'll just grab it at a store in New York. Yeah, you and 1,000 other exhibitors who are going to go to that aisle and go, oh my gosh, there is nothing left. Same thing goes for sample cups, guys. If you think you're going to just get them at a local store, you're not the first one with that idea. So make sure you write everything down. If you don't have it already, you'll see a nice little picture there. We did create our Precious Cargo checklist for Fancy Food. So it has a list of all of the things that you should be bringing with you. We do have it as a handout today, so we'll make sure that gets to you if you haven't downloaded it already. So, actually, go back here, guys. The last thing there is to also to test your booth. Test your booth before the show. So you want to find out, how it goes together. How long does it take? Take pictures of the setup. You may go, oh, it's really basic. It's going to be really simple. Right. That's what we all think about IKEA furniture too, right? It's going to be real easy. And then 3 hours later, we're, screaming because we're missing that one screw. So make sure you've tested it out before, you know how long it's going to take, have your team do it with you, whoever's going to be involved, and even take pictures. Take pictures of the setup. You know, just step by step, guys. Make it easy for yourself so you can focus on what's important. So the next thing here, I just have a couple of pictures of kind of some function over fancy. I have to say the popsicle booth was one of my favorite, both Good Pop and the ice cream stand. Because the ice cream stand, literally, that was like their booth. Like they didn't have walls, they didn't have anything else. They had some signage. That was a little early there, but they had some signage. But it was simple. You could walk right up. It spoke for itself, and it stood out. It stood out from some of these really fancy booths because it was just the simplicity, this gathering kind of social place. It was really great. And same thing, you know, good up to Good Pop over there. They had this tiny, just simple bar and their freezer with a banner, and it allowed people to walk around and try the samples. Same thing with, you know, see Clear Kombucha up there. And Dipsy did a great job here with doing some kind of giving you a feel and outside by doing this, you know, grass-like bottom, but really, again, open and airy. So I think, again, you know, function over fancy, guys. So the last thing in our section for preparation is your affairs, getting your affairs in order. Updating your email signature with your booth number. So as you're leading up to the show, you're kind of giving little snippets of information like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be here, and this is our booth number. This is happening. Also, when you're actually gone, make sure you set up your out-of-office reply with details. You know, where are you? Hey, we're at Fancy Foods. Sorry to get back to you. We're having a great time in New York City. Get a hold of Gina while I'm gone. I'll be back on Thursday. Make sure you have it, but also use it as a, you know, hashtag marketing, guys. Like, get a little marketing sense in there. So throw that in there too. Let them know where you're at, how to find you, when to find you, all that good stuff. Also, while you're going through the preparation, create an email folder for the show. You're going to get so many emails, not only from probably your team and what you guys are working on, but also from SFA, from Freeman, from all of the entities involved with the Fancy Food Show. You're going to get so much stuff. So whether you're a single, you know, folder kind of person, throw it all in one, or you're neurotic like me, you're going to have like subfolders for everything. Whatever it is, have a place that is not your inbox, it's not just your inbox, to find this stuff. Because when you need it, you don't want to be wasting your time trying to find it or working with, you know, shoddy Wi-Fi. So that is, I think, our last section there for preparation. Oh, no, sorry, guys. We also have internal, working with our team, or prepping our team. So that's one last thing, too, guys. So when you're getting your team ready, make sure that you're doing internal reference guides, like quick facts, company info, product info. I've seen so many people get their booth people, like, prep the day of the show. Just, it shows. It shows to everybody when they're not prepared. So make sure that you're giving them documents to study, to look at, of what you want them to know and say. Designate clear roles for your team, sales, press, who's tidying the booth, samples, and define clear goals. Who handles the sales questions? Who's talking with press? Who's in charge of booth tidying? And of course, you know, you guys will all be pitching in, but designate some clear lines so, you know, people know when to step up to the plate. They're not waiting for someone else to do it. And this is a huge, huge one, and we're going to talk about this in a few sections. Defining your clear goals. Like, why the heck are you at Fancy Foods, guys? Like, why are you showing up? I mean, it's a big investment to just, like, go there with a hope and a prayer, you know? So why are you there? What do we want? Is it distributors that we're looking for? Is it press? Is this a brand awareness event for us? Are you trying to target certain retailers? Are you trying to get into big box? What is the purpose? Because you're not, this isn't, you know, the actor's dream of showing up and being discovered, guys. You need to have a clear, specific goal and a clear, specific plan, and make sure that your whole team is aware of this plan. They understand it too, so they can own it, they can vibe it, they can put it out there, and everyone can show and act upon what these goals are. So we have a pro tip for this section as well, guys. Don't count on Wi-Fi being available. Yes, it's technically there in the public areas of the Javits Center, but I'm telling you, too many times it's really, you got thousands of people there trying to get on it. So if you have a presentation or something that's relying on Wi-Fi, make sure you have a backup plan. That's all I gotta say, just make sure you have a backup plan. So how are you guys doing? I know I kind of rambled for a bit there. How are we feeling this? Is this all like you know, I've heard all this before, we know all this. Again, you know, we want to tailor this to you guys. So if you guys are like fancy food experts, I can go even faster through some of these things so we can get to some nitty gritty. So if you just tell us in the chat, like, this is awesome, this is nonsense, like, why didn't you talk about this? Again, we want to make sure that we're, you know, talking to what you guys want to know.
Yeah, and that gets even more important for my section, guys. We're about to start sales. If I could get anyone to just let me know, you know, how deep do you want me to go? Are you already sales experts in the natural industry, or are you novices? You know, I need to know kind of how much to overwhelm you and how much not to. So feel free to stop and ask questions in this section, guys. We've got the chats open so we can see what you're saying. You can also save all your questions for the Q&A. It's up to you how you want to interact with us on that one. But I am going to get started. So take a deep breath because I've got a lot of phrases you may have never heard before.
Woo!
First, the biggest question I always get about a fancy food show is this a selling show? No, it's not. Traditionally, fancy food is not a selling show. You know, the traditional selling shows are shows like the UNFI tabletop, the KeHE tabletop. You know, distributor shows are more of that selling environment. But that doesn't mean that you don't have anything to do if you're on the sales team. Don't, you know, breathe a huge sigh of relief. Oh, we're free. No, there's a lot to do with fancy food for sales still. Your biggest goal should be relationship building. You know, you've got all your distributors, your buyers, your press, they're all under one roof, so take advantage of it. So my big pro tip on for sales is really to trim your pitch down, guys. We want to focus on the most unique product propositions. What makes you different? Is it certifications? Is it that you're certified paleo? Is it that you deliver to the door? You know, you've got to know what your big strengths are. My suggestion is really to trim your quote elevator pitch down to 30 seconds and then be able to expand up to 2 minutes, but also know how you're going to tailor it for different people. You know, when a distributor comes by, you're going to talk more about wholesale costs and retailer propositions. When a buyer comes by, you're going to talk more about your promotional plans. So make sure to know how you're going to tailor that. So the big one that I always think that so many people miss out when it comes to fancy food is business builders. I know Tanya touched on this just a few slides ago about it being something to focus on, but I'm going to really focus on it. What is business builders? Well, it's your one opportunity to really make business connections. It's your one-on-one meetings with a buyer of your choice. There's a deadline for this, guys, so you've got to make sure you sign up on time. It happens before the show even starts. You get to pick 3 retailers or distributors, depending on who's signed up as far as the buyer market goes. And these meetings can really be the difference between a super successful show and we handed out a lot of samples show. So really, really make sure to take advantage of this, guys, and get there early so you can pick the best buyers and the people that really make the most sense for you. So you're probably asking, Annie, what do I do? Well, pre-meeting prep. You want to research the retailers. Once you know your list of buyers or distributors you're going to be meeting with, research them. Know what they are. Know what they're all about. Know about their competitors, your competitors within the stores. Know the points of difference, all of that. Build a strong presentation. This is going to have any sales data you do have. Again, competitor knowledge. What's your promo plan? How are you going to support this retailer? What are you going to bring to the meetings? You're going to bring, I know this might seem kind of obvious, but you're going to bring your samples. You're going to bring samples. You're going to bring
the goods, guys. Bring the goods.
And bring enough that you can leave some with them. Some buyers will say, yes, leave it with me. Some buyers will say, no, will you please ship them to me? Either way, just make sure you have enough with you. Bring an actual live box. So if it's a bar that you're selling, bring that bar, but also bring a box that the bar comes in so they can see what the shelf unit would look like. If you're really new and you don't have that new mock-up yet or that new box made, just bring the mock-up. But make sure you have something physical in your hand that the buyer can hold, touch, and feel, and taste. Bring a PowerPoint presentation. You know, you're creating this really strong deck. Make sure you bring it. Bring a printed version. I always say I like to bring a printed version for the buyer, and I use an electronic version for myself. That printed version is for the buyer so they can write notes on it. let them write notes on it. If they say, no, you know what, I don't want to keep this, will you just email it to me? You can do that from your electronic version you have with you. Bring a sell sheet and a spec sheet. This is really just streamlines the process. If they say, yeah, we really want to work with you, you can say, here's our exact dimensions. And bring your business cards. I know, that sounds really obvious too, but you wouldn't believe how many meetings like this I've been in where the sales team actually forgot their business cards. My pro tip, you get 15 minutes at each meeting, guys. Make it count. Know your stuff and impress them. This is key, okay? So when you're at the show, how do you get these people to actually show up to your booth and not just catch whoever walks by? Well, it's all about pre-show prep. You need to know who's attending. There's a list. So download it. Know who's going to be there. Research those retailers that are going to be there. And then reach out to them. Ask them to stop by your booth. Sounds simple, but it works. Just email them. Tell them your booth number.
So many people don't do this, guys. So many people don't do this.
It seems like a no-brainer, but it's also that moment of like, why didn't I think of that? So do it. Reach out. Yeah. Ask them to stop by the booth. Give them your booth number. Include pictures of your brand. My thought is these buyers, these attendees, they are flooded with emails from Fancy Food. Make sure yours stands out. So add some pictures. Add, a fun tagline if you have something. A brand I used to work with used to say, grab health by the nuts. So add that in. Kind of make it a fun email so they open it, read it, and remember it. Follow up, and follow up. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, guys. Try to pin down what day they're going to be walking the show. Ask them, hey, will you stop by on Friday? Will you stop by on Monday? Whatever the days of the show, try to nail down what day they plan on walking the show, because it's not always. So make sure you know. Pro tip, get creative in getting the contact. Again, sounds silly, but you'd be surprised how much information you can get from just a website, from calling a headquarter office or looking on LinkedIn. So if you say, I'd love to be in Wegmans, but I don't even know who my buyer is, call the headquarter office and ask. You'd be surprised how many times they'll just tell you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you already have contacts, you are a million steps ahead of the game. Reach out to them. Do the things we already talked about. Include that picture. Try to set up a meeting, whether it be formal or informal. Formal could be at the booth in your meeting space of your booth, or it can be getting coffee at the Starbucks in the Javits Center. So try to set up something as formal as you can, especially if you already have contacts. If you don't have contacts, no worries, guys. You just need to get creative. The first question I would have if you don't have contacts is, are you working with brokers? If you are, this makes the task easier as well. Reach out to your brokers. Tell them, hey, these are the target accounts I really want to work with that I want to see here at Fancy Food. Can you help me get the meetings? The brokers are walking with their top accounts, so all you have to do is ask, and they'll make sure to bring them by. No brokers, no problem. Put your booth team on alert. Make a target list of who you want to talk with, and tell your booth staff, hey, if you see anybody from Wegmans, do what you can to pull them in. Train your staff on the different colors. This is something that I think is super overlooked. Every badge will have a different color for what they are. So if they're a distributor, if they're a retailer, if they're press, if they're just a guest, there's going to be a different color band. So green might be distributor. So you might tell your staff, hey, anybody that has a green badge, try to pull them over and let's see, because our main goal is to get distributors. Pro tip, be prepared with it. I know I'm talking really fast, guys. Please tell me to slow down if you need me to.
There's a lot to get through though, so it's all good, guys. So if you need a break, one's coming up, but just take it all in. Take it all in. This is good. This is fire.
Yes, and write down notes and ask questions. So my pro tip is be prepared with information and understand the retailer's needs and wants. This is something that too many people don't understand. They say, well, we have a goal to get into an account, so we're going to do everything we can to do that. But why don't you ask the retailer what they want and then tailor your goals around that? So here comes the one that's going to get a little meaty, guys. Sell sheets. So sell sheets and spec sheets. I'm not sure if you guys are already familiar, so I'll just go really quick. Sell sheets and spec sheets, their purpose for that is to really show what's different about your brand and to have all the information that's specific to your brand on one piece of paper. This helps your field sales team or your broker team or yourself, and especially your booth staff, for reference. The specs really streamline any new business. So it's really easy to give that to a buyer and say, here's all of our specs. And they can say, oh yeah, we can meet these minimums or whatever it might be right from there. And then just for yourself, it makes it easier when filling out new item paperwork because all the information's right there. So what should be on them? Well, what should be on them is images of your product. I know, kind of duh, but you want images. You want people to have a visual of what your product looks like. Your product dimensions. Now, this is going to include dimensions of a unit, a case, a master case, an inner, depending on how your product's packaged, which is a great segue. How is your product packaged? Is it in a master? Is it in an inner? Is it a single unit? How is it shipped? What's your tie-high? If you offer direct account distribution, if you're selling to UNFI, they're going to want to know what your tie-high is. What's your minimum order? I typically suggest at least one pallet as a minimum order. And each layer of that pallet should be one SKU. That way you're not paying a ton of restocking fees for, one flavor of vanilla, but it's only one case going on that pallet. But you've got to pay for that, for your warehouse to pull it down and put it back up. So make sure you're making sense cost productive wise there. Your minimum order, I just said that. Your shipping time for direct accounts. This is kind of, if you are going to be actually shipping the product, if you're going to be doing a delivered price, you need to know how long it's going to take for the product to get there. What can you guarantee? If a PO comes in on Monday, don't say you can have the product there on Wednesday. That's just unrealistic. So I usually say 10 business days, but it really depends on what your product is and how you're kind of managing your stock. What's your best buy date? Now, this is going to include your expiration, your best buy, your code. You'll hear it kind of said as 3 different ways, but it's how long is your product good for at production. So that's what that is. If you have distribution, I always recommend having actual DC item codes listed. So if you're in UNFI East, West, KeHE, whatever it is, throwing those item codes on there can make it a lot easier for your broker team or your sales team. UPCs. So have your UPCs. And if you can, scannable barcodes are extremely helpful for buyers. Again, this is something in store. So say you get into a chain like Lassen's, but they say, hey, you've got to actually get it on the shelf. You can bring that sell sheet with you and have the buyer just scan it right off there and order it. It makes their job 10 times easier and yours. What's your rank order? What's your number 1 SKU and what's your least selling SKU? Have it in order on your sell sheet. It saves brain space for yourself, your booth staff, and for the reps themselves and for the buyers. Display information. Are you offering a rack, a shipper, a spinner? Put that kind of stuff on there as well. So that was a lot of data. So I've included.
Anyone head explode right now? Anyone just like mind blown? There's a lot, guys. There's a lot in this section, and we do have a sales course for this if this is all way over your head. If it's not, kudos to you, because I've been in this industry for a long time, and this still gets me every time.
It's a lot. So again, feel free to take screenshots, guys. Ask questions, take notes.
But this is what makes the sales, guys. This is what, you can tell them all the foofy, great, fun stuff about your product, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, this is what they need to come back with when they're like, I got this great product. Okay, well, how does it fit on my shelf? And how am I going to get it? And all this stuff, this is the nitty-gritty that makes the sale. So if you don't have these answers, then somebody who does is going to get it. They're going to get the PO. True. So this is huge to make sure you really know and you understand this industry. Or make sure your sales team does.
Yes, and you need to know this details. So make sure that when Wegmans says to you, hey, what's your tie-high? You don't look like a deer in headlights. So we've got a section on kind of what does your booth staff need to know and what do you need to know, and there's even more there. So
yeah, we'll run through this kind of quick because I know we are already hitting towards like the last 15 minutes of the hour here. So you might want to get your screenshots ready, guys, so we'll cut through some of this sales stuff as well.
Yep, we're going to be going pretty quick. All right, so here is some examples. Here's some examples of sell sheets and spec sheets, guys. Just so you can kind of see the difference. Nutritional labels listed, packaging, some differentiating points, scannable barcodes. All right, so what does your booth staff need to know? Besides the basic brand knowledge of what certifications do you have and what makes you different than your competitor, your brand staff needs to know who distributes your product currently and what DCs. So are you in UNFI Moreno Valley? Are you in Katy, Iowa City? You know, you need to know that, and your booth staff needs to know that. What's your wholesale price at each distributor? Now, what I always say is I can't tell you what your price is at UNFI, but I can tell you what the East Coast wholesale price is. Because obviously you hopefully know that distributors will have different levels for the retailer to buy in. They'll get a volume discount or they'll get cost plus, whatever it may be. So you can only tell them what their wholesale price is. They can typically work backwards from that. But make sure you know what it is. So again, you don't look like a deer in headlights. What major accounts are you currently scanning in? Be really familiar with what region, because a lot of times people will just come up and say, where are you on the East Coast? Make sure you have an answer to that question and your booth staff has an answer to that question. What major accounts are you scanning in? Same idea, right? You got to know where it is. Shelf life at production. Again, this is, you know, not what you're guaranteeing, but it's what it is at production. So if it's a year of production, awesome. What's your guaranteed shelf life? I usually say it's a half-life. So if your shelf life at production is a year, your guaranteed shelf life is 6 months. You're okay also with just not releasing that and saying, you know, hey, our shelf life at production is a year. We can work with you as far as guarantee goes. Where are you produced? This is another one that you get to kind of choose what you want to do. You can either say, hey, we're produced in Oregon, or you can say we have a facility on the West Coast. You know, I don't think everyone that walks by your booth needs to know exactly that, you know, you're manufactured at Truett Co-Packers, but instead they're just curious if you're made in the U.S., if you're local to where their region is. Rank order. Save your booth staff and your self-brain space. Put this on your sell sheet. It'll honestly save you so much time and so many brain cells. So what do you need to know? What does your sales staff need to know? Besides everything the booth staff knows and all of that brand knowledge, your sales team needs to know, and I say you need to know as well. You need to decide whether you want to offer a direct to retailer or you just want to use your distribution networks. There's pros and cons to both, so you need to really kind of think about that. What's your direct minimums? Again, this is the pallet, 1 SKU, 1 layer, whatever you want to do on that. What's your lead time? Again, 10 business days potentially. What's your wholesale cost? Now, you need to have 2 different cost structures if you're going to be offering both. Are you offering FOB or just delivered? Or are you offering both? Make sure you have a wholesale cost for both. What's your tie high? What's your wholesale cost through distributors? Again, each region may have a slightly different price if you're FOB, so make sure that you know that. Again, cheat sheets, guys. Cheat sheets. They help. What's your manufacturing location? This is if you're allowing pickup and if you want to share detailed information. Again, you can just say a region and go from there. What's your promo plan? What does the next 52 weeks look like when you're bringing in a new retailer? Are you going to have 16 weeks of OI or 8 weeks of MCV, 8 weeks of OI? Are you going to mix it up? So make sure you know that before going in. Now, not everyone's going to follow exactly what your plan is, but have a general plan so you know where to start from. What's your new placement offer for retailers? Are you offering free fills? Are you offering BOGOs? Do you not offer a darn thing? It's up to you. But make sure you know that ahead of time. Are you offering a show deal? Again, you don't have to offer anything if you don't want to, but you could offer, you know, a 15% MCV if they bring in 100 cases. Or you could say, hey, if you sign up at the show and I get a PO within, you know, 30 days of the show, I'll give you a 60-day intro of 10% OI. You know, whatever it might be, just structure your show deal, whatever makes sense to you. You know, you need to look at your P&L and see what kind of money you have. You don't want to overspend yourself. What distributors, regions, DCs are you currently in? Again, cheat sheet. What's your current sales data? If you have SPINS data, first of all, you are 100 miles ahead of everyone else, so that's awesome. But you can also just share store-level sales data, anything that really makes your brand sell. One thing I would say, if you're sharing sales data, make sure to never say the retailer name. It's typically against any number contracts. So you can say, you know, if it's Whole Foods, you say a national natural retailer. If it's Publix, you say a 600-plus store retailer in the Southeast. So either way, just make sure you protect yourself on that one as well. So what happens when you're in the conversation? You've pulled in that buyer, you've got them there. Now what do? You say, hi, I'm Annie, and you hand contact information. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get distracted. The buyer leaves, you don't have their name, and now you say, we finally got that buyer from Wegmans, and I don't have their contact. So first thing, what I always do is I shake hands, and I hand them my card right after. They hand me theirs. contact is done, and it feels very flawless.
She has that card in her back pocket like a pistol, guys. Like, she pulls that out. I'm not even kidding, like a gun. Like Annie Oakley right there with her business cards. I've seen it. I've seen it in person.
I recommend having your cards on you at all times in a very easy, accessible place. So whether that be your front pocket, your back pocket, in your badge, holder, whatever makes it easier for you. Like Tanya said, for me, it's my back pocket. It's very easy for me to just pull it out right after I shake hands. You want to discuss your brand products. Guys, use that elevator pitch. You've got a little bit longer because they're already at your booth. So you've got 2 to 5 minutes to really tell them about your difference, your certifications, your sales, all of that. Biggest thing, and something that I think a lot of people make a mistake with when it comes to sales, is ask open-ended questions. Ask them, hey, who do you work for? What do you do with Wegmans? What do you do with Publix? Whatever it might be. Ask that question. Start that conversation. People love to talk about themselves and their jobs, so let them. Build a relationship, and build a relationship. It's a two-way dialogue, guys. Ask them questions about themselves, their job, their company, their dog, whatever it might be. If they're wearing flamingo earrings, comment on them and ask, some kind of question about it. Make sure they remember you and you remember them. Remember specifics. What I'll do is after they walk away, I'll grab that card back out and I'll write myself notes. If they had a dog named Pepper, I'm writing that down. So when I follow up with them, I can say, how's Pepper? So make sure you're really keeping that information. Make an impact personally so that they remember you. You want to remember them, but they want to remember you because they're seeing thousands of booths today. So make sure that they actually know who you are. Ask questions. How many stores do you have? What's your baby set look like? What's already going on in your paleo set? Whatever it might be. My personal favorite is to always end a conversation with an open-ended question. This is what I like to say, and I'll give you my trade secret, guys. I like to end it with, this is so exciting. What should my next step be for working with you and your team? Put it on them. Make them tell you what they want. They may answer back with, well, our baby review is in May, so I'd like you to reach out in mid-April so we can set up a meeting. It may be, send me samples right away. I want to bring you in. Whatever it is.
This is huge, guys. Just the whole fact that you ask them. I don't know why I'm doing a little reverb here, but the whole thing there is ask them. Ask that question. That question is huge. What is the next step? What do you want me to do? And then you put the ball in their court. It's amazing. I love this part. It's just ask them. What should I do next?
Seriously, it just makes your whole sales job easier because why guess when they want samples or when the review is? Just ask them what they want you to do. They'll tell you. So why not, My pro tip on this one, guys, is when they say, we want to bring you in, that's super exciting, but that does not mean the sale is done. That means the fun is just about to begin. You still, the deal's not over till the PO's written and the product's on the shelf. So make sure to get excited when they say we want to bring you in, but also know that it's a long road ahead of you. So don't count it just yet. Take a breath. I just went through a ton of stuff. So feel free to get some water, type some questions if you have any already.
You guys are still all right there? I know it was a lot of stuff. I've worked with Annie for almost 10 years now, off and on in different projects, and I still, and my mind just is like zombie mode as soon as I'm like, right, letters, numbers, stuff and things, got it. That's why we just have her covered.
That was pretty top line. So if you do have questions, and don't feel silly if the question is, what's an MCB? Because you might not know, and that's okay.
What is an MCB?
Well, that's for merchant chargeback, and it's a certain form of a discount. So there's a lot of different ways you can discount with retailers. The top 3 are OIs, scans, and MCBs. So OIs are off invoice. It's a discount you give to the distributor that they pass on. It goes off their cost. MCB goes off of wholesale cost of that distributor, and scan goes off what they sell and how much.
So I would say there's 2 lessons here, guys. Either if you are handling some of the sales or trying to at least grasp and wrap your head around, maybe you're just getting your products out, maybe you've been in it for a while, but you've had a sales team. You know, I think the two things here is either you're going to get some really good insight as to what you need to know, potentially what you're lacking in knowledge, or maybe you're going to understand a little more about what your sales team's going through, what your sales team has to understand. And so when they're asking you questions, when they're needing a certain amount of trade spend or whatnot to do what they do, this gives you some insight as to, like, you know, holy crap, like there's a lot here. Like, this isn't just, you know, I'd like this for $4. Here it is. Thanks. Like, there's a lot more that goes on in understanding and in making that sale. You know, it isn't just you know, wham bam, thank you for the, you know, for the product, man. You know, there's so much more going on in that competitive space and all these, I mean, all this stuff, where it's located. I mean, again, I'm glad I get to do marketing, get to do fun, happy face on things, but man, this is some nitty gritty stuff that I think is hugely important.
Well, and what really quick, guys, just piggybacking off of Tanya, I can't tell you how valuable it is when a CEO can read a P&L and actually know what it is. So it's a really big deal. It's something that your sales team will find invaluable if you can understand their language, because it is a different language. So understanding their language, able to look at how they're managing their trade spend in a really effective way, such as a P&L. So knowing these phrases are really important. So that's sales. Huge. That's sales. So it's in a nutshell, guys. It gets bigger than that, scarily enough. Yeah.
So hopefully you've had a chance to take a drink of water, do a yoga breath, whatever you need. We are on section 2, and I know we're coming through the end. We didn't actually put a time limit on this, so I'll be honest, guys, we were looking at about 90 minutes, including Q&A. So hopefully if you can stick around for another half an hour, I am going to try to go through this really as quickly as possible without sounding like a complete nut job. So bear with me, but I think we really do have some good stuff here. And again, anytime you guys can give us something in the comments, let us know, if you're like, hey, I got this, like, are you going to talk about this? We can switch it and change it. There's no reason for us to go on and off on one subject if maybe your whole sales team is sitting here right now and you were just like, why are we listening to Annie? Like, we clearly know all of this and we're amazing. But, or maybe you're coming to my section and you're like, this is my marketing team. We don't really care about this. So, again, communication with us is great. We will tailor, cut out, do whatever we need. So moving on, and again, I'm going to try to move on as quickly as possible. We're going to go ahead and do this camera. And I'm good. All right. I'm good with the microphone. Gosh, I don't know. This thing gets me every time. So have a marketing plan, right? Kind of another no-brainer. Let's talk about some pre-show marketing. So you guys, if you're going to Fancy Food Show, download the logo. They give you all of the logo pre-set up. It's on their website. You can customize it with your booth number. Even if you don't know coding or anything tech as myself, they give you very clear instructions how to go in there and add some code that actually puts your badge number on this. You can put it onto your website. You can put it everywhere, put it in your emails, all that stuff we talked about. Also, know the hashtag, guys. The hashtag, Specialty Food Association does have a hashtag for the summer Fancy Food Show, hashtag SFFS17, and you can use that every time you're putting up your social media. If you're not using hashtags, guys, and you're not engaged in social media like this, I'm telling you right now, you are leaving money on the table. And you need to get into our social media class. It's just amazing for the food industry specifically of what hashtags do for people to find your product. So another thing is to use and update your contacts that you are involved in the show. If you're not engaged in email marketing, this is another thing, guys. It gives you a reason to get a hold of them without being like spammy or just talking about sales. You get to share a little, insight into what you got going on behind the scenes, and you're like, hey guys, remember us? We're going to Fancy Food Show, and we just wanted to say hello. So this gives you a reason to get in front of them. So email them. Hopefully your list is segmented, and you can give a personalized message to each person. So hopefully you're not sending the same message to your fans that you're sending to press and buyers and whatnot. So, and again, Annie talked about what you should be saying to buyers. You don't want to just say generalize them. You really want to get specific. If your email list isn't segmented, again, that's something you need to really start doing. But if it's not, make sure you send something, I guess, generic enough, but creative to let them know what you're doing. also have a specific email for, like I said, for the press. So if you do have that, really tailor it in. If you know this person has you have a gluten-free product and you want to make sure that your message to the gluten-free magazine is very specific. Why would you just have something generalized? Like, hey, come check us out. We're awesome and we're right, what you want to know about. So make their job easier and reach out to them. They want to know who you are, where you are. It makes less reading and researching for them. Speaking of research the show directory. Who is attending? Who can I reach out to that would be interested? Yes, press, it's up to them, but they are listed. They will list themselves. You will see some of them. But what I'm going to get to is even more important next is be familiar with the on-site press office. This is an invaluable thing to be part of, but I can't tell you how many people don't even know it exists. There is an on-site press office at the Javits Center, at Moscone as well, whatever one you're going to for Fancy Foods, where you go and you basically put your press kit and any information you want, no samples, but everything else, and the press knows. I'm going to go there and I'm going to get all my info. Ooh, this guy sounds good. That sounds great. La-di-da. In a perfect world, they may have looked you up in the directory. They may say, I'm definitely going to stop by that booth. I want to talk to them. And on their way through the aisles of cheese and chocolate, they are going to get lost and they're not going to make it to your booth. If you had your stuff in the press office, there's your second chance to make sure to get in front of them. So use the on-site press office and put your kit in there. So the on-site press office there, and take advantage of the free show press release distribution. Fancy Foods, or I should say Specialty Food Association, provides 6 free press releases that they will put out for you in front of their contacts. Not only will they do that for you, but they will give you a report, who it went in front of, if there was any engagement received from that. This is free, guys. This is free for going and being part of this event. So take advantage of these and use them. Get your reports and see what happens. So that's part of our marketing plan here. Next, I'm going to go quickly through social media. Again, like I said, use the hashtag. Make sure you're marketing before the show. Don't just bombard people out of nowhere who you haven't been talking to at all. Maybe you've been ignoring your list. And then just be like, oh, we're at Fancy Foods, Fancy Foods, Fancy Foods. Oh, like, no, they're not even necessarily going to care right away. Like, what happened? And I'm just like, they just showed up. So talk to them before the show, like, hey, we're trying this out. Hey, look at Nancy, she's getting ready, and look at Joe, he's, trying our new product out. Maybe there's something exciting. Give them little snippets. Then talk to them during the show. Hey, guys, look how the booth came out. Remember you saw that glitter I was buying? Look what we did with it. After the show, when we are tired, but it was great. Look at us all at the Empire State Building or on the Brooklyn Bridge. Give some sections there before, during, and after. Choose what platform you're going to use. Are you Instagramming? Are you Facebook? Are you Snapchatting? All of that's going to, depend on what your plan method and target market is. But choose which ones you're going to use and choose what mediums you're going to use. Is it live stream? Are you using Boomerang? Is it post? Is it video? Is it a mixture? Brainstorm content. Have a plan beforehand, because if you think you're going to come up with it on the spot, the only thing you're going to come up with on the spot is finding the best place to try to take a nap. So don't do it. Try to brainstorm brainstorm beforehand and have a general idea. Like, hey, you know what? We're going to do a Boomerang video on Tuesday, and we're going to do this on Monday, and I want to do a live stream when we do this, la-di-da-di-da. It's going to be general. You're not going to be exactly on time, so don't send out messages like, see us at 1 o'clock, because it might be 1:15, it might be 3. But have a general morning, afternoon, evening is when we're going to do X, Y, Z. So make sure you take advantage of your social media and get involved in what you can do. These are some great examples of some social media. Todd Salsa, man, big up to Todd Salsa, because this is actually real time, guys. This was just this past March. They're already posting, like, it said, never too early to think about, hashtag SFS17, hashtag NYC, at Javits Center, with at Craft Care Joy. If you guys aren't paying attention, Craft Care Joy is part of the Specialty Food Association on Twitter. So this is a tweet, if you're not familiar with tweeting. In the middle, you'll see an Instagram post, and this is from just this past winter Fancy Foods. The guys there at their, I don't actually know, coffee blocks, right? So coffee blocks they're showing, hey, look at us, we're at our booth with cute coffee shirts. That's what we do. And then we see a Facebook post here on the other side of someone going, oh my gosh, I just got so many freaking samples, you know, from organic stuff and things. So you can see kind of a good example of a before, during, and after of what you can do on social media. Speaking of social media, guys, follow us if you want to get see what we're up to and some tips and tricks. We share lots of things throughout the week. Tanya MFK or Build a Biz, we share a little bit of different things. If you follow me, you're going to get a little more stats and pictures of my son, along with some business tips. And if you follow Build a Biz, you know, we keep it a little more proper and business there. So go ahead and follow us. We'd love to see you and let us know that you found us during the webinar. So moving on, have a press kit. If you're going to take use of that press kit, that press office, you might as well have something to give them, right? One thing that people don't think about is when you're giving your press information, write up a story. Write up what you want to see written about you. These press, a lot of these people, this is a full-time job for them. They get paid to do this. This is a job. They have deadlines to meet. If you are not making them do all the research and create it from scratch, you are doing them a favor. Now, of course, they can change it, switch it, kind of whatever their experience is that they want to do. But you've just made their job that much easier by writing the story. Then go ahead and add some bullet points. Here's our main things. You know, we started at this time. Our CEO is this person. We're gluten-free or, you know, whatever it is, paleo, vegan, whatnot, organic, all those great things. Whatever your bullet points are. If you've had some past media, hey, this is what Vogue wrote about us. This is what this wrote about us. Not only does that give them some insight into your, you know, what's trending about you, it also gets them excited, like, ooh, they wrote about it, what can I add to that? Also, of course, if you have social media handles, add those in, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Make sure you got all that going on. Sorry for the Google Plusers, you know, you can add that on there as well, so if that's something you're doing, make sure you do that too. Also, participate in the what's hot, what's new. If you qualify, guys, this is a booth at Fancy. It is not a booth, but this is an area in Fancy Foods that if it's your first time or it's a new SKU or line for the Fancy Food Show, you can be in this area where it'll display your packaging, your products, and a lot of, I can't tell you how many buyers and press go to that area to find out, guess what, what's hot and what's new. So we go there for that. So if you can get into that and it's something that fits in your budget, highly, highly recommend getting involved in doing that. So this is just a good sample of part of a press. This was one page of a sample media sheet for ECOS, as you see there. What they did is all of their flavors, they gave a really kind of fun flavor profile. This isn't the proper sales sheet one. This is not what you're going to give your salespeople for sure. They don't care about all this cute stuff. They want to know what's the flavors, what's the basic. Give me the goods. This is a cute description, very wordy, all this of like neat things. We did the work for them. So when that press person tries Green Detox, they already have what to write about it right there for them. This also is the other side that shows kind of all of the different things that other people had written about this product. So you'll see that there as well. This was, you know, easy. It has all of their social media handles, what their hashtags are, all of those things. Made that really easy for them. Another thing in your marketing plan, guys, it may not be obvious, but walk the floor. A lot of people think that walking the floor is like more of an escape. It's actually something you should plan for. It's perfect for marketing, believe it or not. You need to set a block of time with no meetings, expect your team to be with or without you for a while, have your phone ready. This isn't about fun, even though it is fun to go see what is all there, but this is about doing your due diligence and researching your industry. You're going to do market research. You're going to be able to network. You're going to find your competitors and see what they're doing. You're going to go and stop by the what's hot, what's new area and see what's hot and what's new. You're going to find synergistic companies. Maybe, are you a cracker company? Maybe you're going to find a really awesome cheese or chutney place. And maybe you guys will just share some of that demo space or events later on, so it's not costing you an arm and a leg to do so. You're going to find out and know more about your industry. You're going to see some booth examples, maybe stuff you didn't think about before, and maybe even packaging. So it's something you should really plan for. It's not something you should just wait and see if you find time. This is the one time You're going to have tons, thousands of people in your industry under one roof. So you can go back and go and read all the trade magazines or get online and hopefully somebody's, or you can go see it for yourself. Like, come on, it's right there. So go do it. Take a couple hours, 2 hours, whatever, and go walk the floor and have a plan. It's huge because walking the floor will literally take 3 days. So you might need a little more specific plan. Do your research. Who's out there? Who do you want to check out? So make sure you do that and walk the floor. Pro tip, as we just mentioned, meeting brands that are like-minded. You can get partnerships and even share the cost for demo and event. So again, we're going to go through this fast, guys. Have a marketing plan over here. So swag, right? Swag is a huge thing at trade shows. Everybody's like, what are we going to give away? Oh my God. First of all, you don't even have to. But if you're going to, make sure it has a purpose. Don't just give away stuff for the sake of giving away stuff because it is just that. It's pointless. But if you are going to do it, make sure it's something creative. It doesn't have to be, the biggest, craziest thing. It can be something that, think outside of the obvious. Like if you got a high energy bar, maybe give like a branded step counter. Maybe, just think of something that kind of complements it, but unique and actually has a real world purpose. Also, cost effective and effective. Something can be cost effective, but it's honestly just a crappy little giveaway and nobody cares about. It's not going to do you any good. And if something's super effective, but really not cost effective, is it really worth it? Is buying, 3,000 or 80,000 t-shirts really worth it? And again, quick note on t-shirts, if you're going to do it, make sure it's something people want to wear regardless of your brand. This Gym and Juice is a really great example right here from Revolution Juice because people kind of get it. If you guys don't, hashtag Snoop Dogg here, if you got the play on words there, people who get it, they're going to like this shirt regardless of the brand. And that is going to make them wear it regardless of the brand, which means more brand impressions for you. Again, you look at this, you got a beverage, you got these beverage holders at your office. That's a really cool thing. You have a company that did some recycling and paper-free products. So they did these seedlings of trees that you could plant. And then you have your everyday products where somebody will use all the time and just have constant brand impressions. So that's kind of an awesome thing. So anyway, guys, are we okay with this section, marketing? We're at like 7:10 right now, so everyone's feeling good, making sense.
Well, 7:10 in the Czech Republic.
What was that?
I don't want all of you to think you've been on this webinar for about 7 hours.
Oh, right. Sorry, guys. I forgot. Yeah, I'm in Czech Republic right now, guys, so it is. It is 7:10.
It's 12:10 Central Standard Time.
It is 7 p.m. for me, guys. I've had a long day of coffee while you guys are just getting started. So yeah, thank you for that clarification, Annie. That's great. Okay. So again, I moved through that really quick. I'll be honest, guys, if anyone's, Annie, if you see what's going on in the chat in there, if there's anything I need to address, but I'm just going to go ahead and run on through with my quickness here. So guys, after you figured out your sales, well, let's see, you've prepared, right? You started your sales. You figured out some sort of marketing plan. Now you're there. You're at the show. How are you going to be the master of your own booth? So here we are looking at this. You need to be organized inside and out. So if you quickly look at this picture, it says booth setup. What I love what they did here is that they used some display to use some vertical space, and that's awesome. And you can't see it right now, but they also did it on the right. They got this great little backdrop with the brick. Everything matches really well, and it's really simple in a lot of ways. So the only thing I would point out is that on the table, they got a lot of stuff. And if you look on there, they got tiny little signs everywhere, and it's, cute. I'm telling you what, that's going to last about an hour, okay? That's going to be falling off. People are going to be knocking it over. People are going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I put my, goji berry drink on this, and now it's all ruined. It's going to drive you crazy. Get it off the table, get it cleaned up, get it vertical, or put it away and only share it with those who absolutely need it. Another picture you'll see there is our little bin. It's not the sexiest photo you've probably ever seen, but it just kind of shows how we did a little bin of office supplies. No top on it, and we knew at any time, okay, hey, the scissors, tape, blah, blah, blah was right there, and we had all these bins underneath our table. Another example there, again, with the EPOS booth, you'll see the Sample setup, really clean, really nice, vertical as well. They could have done a little better there with the pins kind of being laid out and again with that paper, but for the most part, the rest of it was relatively clean and nice lines. So another part about mastering your booth, guys, is have some preset taglines. I like to call them the hey yous in your arsenal. This is what you're going to use to pull attendees to your booth. You know, do you want to try some popsicles versus, hey, you want some juice on a stick, is a big difference. And it piques somebody's attention because when I ask, do you want to try some popsicles? I'm going to think, do I want to try popsicles right now? No, it's okay. It's the morning time. I'm not interested. Do you want to try some juice on a stick? I have no idea what you're talking about. I may possibly want to. Tell me more. You know, another one we used to use sometimes is, hey, you know, come over here and I'll teach you how you can throw your juicer away. You know, what the hell are you talking about, Tanya? And they come over and guess what? They'd end up eating a popsicle when they didn't want to. And they loved it. So make sure you get creative. You know, try some things out. If you are engaging in a current field marketing program, you know, have your demo reps and stuff, try some things out. See what's working, what's getting some good vibes, and you'll adjust it on the way. So try it out at the show, adjust some things, and you'll be surprised how much content you'll actually get from some of the attendees who will say, like, oh, it's kind of like this about your product, and you're like, oh, yeah, it is kind of like that. That's a good way to say it. And then you'll start using that the rest of the day. So have some ready and then adjust on the way, but these are really important. Don't ask an easy yes or no question that's easy to say no to. Do you want to try a sample? Is a really bad one. Like, don't do that one. Okay, so
I'm going to be walking. So get creative.
Yeah, because you and 20,000 other people are asking, do you want to try a sample? I mean, come on. So get creative, be fun, and have you know, set your booth apart from everyone else, and use that uniqueness that you may have. You know, if you are a vegan product, maybe it's not just like, hey, you want to try a vegan version of honey? You know, maybe, I don't know, like, do I care? Maybe I'm not vegan, but if you're like, ever had honey not made from bees? Like, I don't know. I mean, I just came up with that. Maybe it's not amazing, but it's better, you know? So
I'd be like, how's it honey?
And how is it honey? Wait a minute. So again, you know, get creative, pique their interest, and get a way to get that. All that does is buy you another second to give another explanation to potentially bring them either as a fan, buyer, XYZ of your product. So moving on to the next one, guys, is, our pro tip, like I said, be creative, set yourself apart from everyone else. We'll go through that quickly. Smart sampling, go in waves, guys. I see so many people start to get nervous when it gets a little slow at the booth. It will never stay that way. It will always go in waves. So just enjoy and ride the wave when it gets slow. Don't start forcing samples onto people 3 aisles away. It's going to be okay. They're going to keep coming. You know, take a breather, use it, clean up a little bit, and get ready for the next wave. Also, make sure that you don't let the act of sampling get in the way of your conversation. So sometimes you can, somebody, I've seen it, you know, a buyer or somebody important is really like, oh, I'm interested in this product. I want to ask a question. And you're so busy shoveling, you know, pieces of cake on somebody that you miss the very person who has an actual interest, as opposed to the people who are just hungry at the moment. So make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and you don't let that ask get in the way of your conversations, and vice versa. Don't let conversations get in the way of your sampling. You know, there are a lot of chatters out there who might just want to chat about the color blue, and they're going to talk to you for hours about the color that you use, and you really, you know, need to move on and start sampling some other people. Also, make sure you highlight your product in your samples. I kid you not, just last year we saw a booth that had an amazing product, honestly amazing product, but the only way they had to try their product was spoonfuls, and it was spoonfuls of butter. Now, I don't know about you, maybe I'm the only one here, but it's not usually how I experience my butter, and I don't believe that it was the best way to try it. They had no other way than literally a spoonful of butter, and I can tell you their booth was very slow. So as soon as, you know, you introduce a piece of bread or some other way to experience that, it really would step it up. So make sure you're highlighting it. Now, granted, there will be people who are just as happy to try it that way, but make sure that you are using the way. If you have spicy salsas, make sure you have some water nearby. You know, if you have something really sweet, make sure you have a temper. Just make sure it highlights your product and is using in a real world situation. Super important as well, track your sample numbers, guys. Not only is this going to pay off during Fancy Foods, but this is going to pay off in your field marketing, in future events, anything you do. Start paying attention to how many pieces or how many sips, how many spoons does this container provide? Is it too big? Is it too small? How many did we go through today? And keep track of those beginning and end numbers to start to understand what they are. You know, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. So make sure you know those numbers and use those, because the cardinal sin is to run out of your samples on the first day. And every year, mark my words, you're going to see that person. You're going to see that boobs, if you will, that are going to run out of samples the first day. And then you're going to see the guys who are way overzealous and are giving away so much product at the end of the day because they didn't work their numbers and they wasted a lot of money. And now, you know, Joe Schmo is walking away with 16 cases of valuable product. So again, make sure you pay attention to this. It's going to help you all along the road. Also, designate a booth member to really manage the samples. Maybe somebody, as you're trying to look out for distributors or sales or whatnot, you know, that they're the ones going, hey, we're getting a little low, make sure we slow down a bit, or hey, we got plenty, let's start giving people bigger pieces. Whatever it is, just have someone kind of keeping an eye out for that. So, also be creative, guys, about, you know, I have someone ask you about, you know, how do you get people over to your booth? You know, have fun stuff. You know, everybody there is a food, they're a product, it's fancy food. So, of course, you got something delicious. Maybe they're full right now. You're going to get that excuse a lot. Oh, I've been eating so much, I couldn't fit another thing. But maybe, just maybe, they want to come and stand under the blueberry box here and get an awesome photo of this giant blueberry falling on their head. This booth was literally just an open booth with this sign, and they had a blueberry product, which was very clear in what they put out. I think this was brilliant in so many ways, and people were coming over there all the time to get these photos. So again, and you'll see that's actually myself there with a popsicle and a little, what was going to be an Instagram photo cover, and we had people come and take pictures with that. So have props, have fun outfits, you know, maybe do a little noise clap chant every hour that gets some attention. Hosted happy hours are a big thing. Collaborations with other products, which is also great because it gets you visibility in different areas. So maybe you're working with an Argentinian product that's up on a different floor, and you're over here, and you guys are cross-referencing each other, and now you're increasing your visibility. So if there's something that makes sense, you know, go out and work with them. Contests, that's another thing to do. Just make sure your contests are relevant and reasonable. If you're giving out iPads for olive oil, you know, that you may want to rethink your process and what your purpose is there. Also keep in mind, if you are doing giveaways, you can recycle them through a few shows. So if you're deciding I'm giving away some giant gift basket, maybe you go to 3 trade shows before you guys determine the winner. You know, that's one thing to kind of stretch that along the way. Here's some other examples of props, as you'll see there. You know, we got the typical photo booth. We got our little popsicle, 3D popsicles. We got this great minivan here, or VW bus here with the surfboard. You know, that people just wanted to take a photo and look at me, I'm at the beach. You know, giant sombreros and giant versions of their product. That was another fun thing. So, you know, even if they don't come by and try their product, what's going to happen is they're going to come by, they're going to take a picture with a sombrero, which conveniently has your logo on it, and they're going to post it on social media, increasing brand awareness. So there is a method behind the madness, guys, not just for the sake of, you know, having it. So another thing here, not as exciting as some of these creative things, is the badge scanning. I've seen so many people just scan every freaking person that they can find, and their mother and their dog, and they think, well, at least if I scan everybody, then I won't miss out on the important people. What you've really essentially done is just created a giant cluster of nonsense for you to sort through when you get back home. Because instead of having really clear leads to follow up with, you're now going to sort through, you know, 10,000 people, and you're going to miss really important follow-ups by just having to go through this. So make sure you, first of all, know how to use the scanner. If you guys are doing the scanning, the CompuLead, make sure you're setting up, they have qualifiers, you know, to kind of organize who you're scanning, know how to use it. Determine who on your team is going to be scanning. Make notes. You can make them right there in the scanner, and take action. You can actually upload like test kits and stuff like that. So if you're talking to someone in a great conversation, they're like, oh yeah, just send me your kit. You're like, sure, I'll send it right now. Press the little button, you're on your way. There you go, already done, no follow-up needed. Well, that's not true, but you know what I mean. So business cards as well, guys. Business cards are still a thing, and people are still giving them out. Have a plan. They are so the most easiest thing to get lost. Annie mentioned it earlier. The last thing you want to do is have the one person you're really looking for, and then realize that maybe you did get their card because you listened to Annie, but then you lost it because you didn't listen to Tanya. So make sure that you know where do business cards go, guys? Oh, they go in that bin, or they're separated by people. However you decide to have it set up, make sure they have a home, because if you set it right down on your booth or your sample table or wherever, it will get lost and you'll be kicking yourself in the ass later. So there we go for that. Like I said, I'm looking at my notes too, guys, so moving on. Spending time with the right people. This is kind of it seems obvious, but you know, you got a lot of people coming through, guys. Buyers, distributors, brokers, COG vendors, sell-through vendors, PR, media, fellow exhibitors, the almighty people, local chefs, foodies, customers, my husband. He will probably be at your booth eating something. So know how to handle
baby. So it'll be okay.
Yeah, and maybe the baby. Yeah. So especially if you're at Natural Product Center where they let babies on the floor, you'll see mine somewhere. Know how to plan and handle each type and what your goal is. If you're not interested in packaging manufacturers right now, make sure your team knows that and they're not spending a whole conversation with them. Make sure you have a polite, nice way to get out of it and that you're clear with it. If you do need a packaging manufacturer, then make sure your team knows that and they're spending the right time with those people. They know what you want. So again, you know, you're going to get a lot of people you may not have even thought of are going to come through. People are going to come through with events. You're like, I didn't think about events. I didn't know about this event. Oh my God. Know how to handle it and who should be speaking to that person. So again, spend time with the right people. This, again, all this stuff is important, guys. So this one here, have a schedule for you and your team. Time is going to get away from you. It goes. It just freaking disappears. So have a schedule for your team, because when you are so busy and you're so excited about, you know, just the event or maybe the last contact you made, and Sarah hasn't had a bathroom break for 4 hours, she's not going to be happy. And it affects the vibe of your booth. And it's going to just create a whole thing. So make sure you're taking care of them, because you're going to be so excited about other stuff you're not going to remember. So if there's a schedule and Sarah knows she can leave at that time, Sarah's happy, everyone's happy, right? So just make sure you have a schedule for lunch breaks, for, you know, I'm not saying that they schedule bathroom breaks, but make sure they just know they have a moment of downtime coming to them. All right, make sure you put it in there. Have a start of day and end of day checklist. So you know, start of day, cut 25 samples, turn on the oven, put out the sales sheet display, you know, take sample inventory. End of day, turn off the oven, clean under the table, take sample inventory. Don't trust your memory with this. You are going to just be a zombie in so many different times of the day. So make a list and just make it easy on yourself. So you check it off. Did I do all these things? Yes, the list is checked. I don't have to think anymore. I can just go into what sales and being awesome. Also, guys, meet at the end of the day. It's so hard to do because everyone is just ready to go. You've been standing all day. You're potentially miserable if you didn't opt for that carpet padding. And everyone wants to go home. But take that time while everything is still fresh in your mind and talk about what just happened. Hey, I met so-and-so. She mentioned this thing. Well, you know, whatever. Get the details out there. Chat about it. Maybe someone has a great idea. Like, hey, I noticed that the samples are going really fast, and when people take them, they're like such big pieces that they're like, and it's not effective. Maybe we should make smaller samples. Oh my gosh, that was a great idea, Jenny. Like, let's do that from now on. Great. Okay, everyone go home now. See you in the morning. We're all on the same page. Bam. So make sure that you plan to meet, and everyone knows ahead of time. Don't catch them by surprise, because when they think they're going to head home and you're like, no, let's stay another 20 minutes, they will hate you. So make sure, again,
that'll be the 20 minutes of their life.
Yeah, they'd be like, I don't want to talk about anything. I want to be somewhere else. So make sure they know. This is plan, schedule. All right, so also, guys, quick pro tip here. You know, I would say part of my language, but this is who I am. So I'm going to tell you right now, shit happens, right? Don't be naive. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Take your super valuables home and then, air quote, close up your booth. Put all the items under the table, cover it with a sheet. Don't leave anything out that begs the question, is this a giveaway? Because they'll probably err on the side of, it probably is, because they left it out on the table. They must want me to take this entire display case. So instead of, getting frustrated over a simple misunderstanding, why don't you just put it away and make it very clear that this is not part of our swag? So cover it and put it away. So how are we, guys? Are we doing okay here? Are we feeling like we can master our booth and we're amazing? I'm telling you right now, we're on the final stretch here. Our next section is very small, so hopefully everyone is surviving. Hopefully I'm answering some questions.
And
yeah, everyone here.
If we're not answering those questions, we've got a Q&A.
Yeah, we do have a Q&A coming up as well, guys. So again, hopefully we're covering that, but let's go to this final stretch. Number 5, guys, the top thing that you should be doing to not blow it is the follow-up after the show. And believe it or not, as this is the shortest section we have, it's also the most important. Annie, do you want to go and take a little bit of this, mainly just because I don't want them sick of my voice right now, and then we can chime in together?
Yes, I will jump in here. All right, so follow-up, guys. This is probably the most important in my opinion, especially when it comes to sales. So first of all, you survived, so celebrate. Go out to dinner with the team, get drinks, whatever it might be. Have a little recap of what was a success, what was a challenge, get feedback, have ideas of, hey, I loved the knife we used, or hey, the cutting of the samples was horrible. We need to find a new system next time. Whatever it is, powwow, okay? If you did the press releases, which we really hope you did, get your post-show report. They're going to give you one. It's free. They're going to tell you how it works. Why not get it?
Right.
Be prepared, guys. You're going to have a huge influx of contacts. You're going to have some that are super, super useful and some that are completely unnecessary. So make sure you have a system for actually managing those. Know who's going to handle it. That all operations contacts go to Jerry and all sales go to Cindy, whatever it might be. Send out hey, we had a really great time. This was a success. Email that out to those contacts. Try to personalize it where you can. If there's a buyer or a press or somebody in press that you really made a connection with that are really important to you, based on your goals, make sure to make that personal connection when you reach back out. Hopefully you've got a fun, cool booth. You've got a fun, cool picture to send to them. The pro tip on this one, follow up with your buyer contacts within a few days of the show close. They're going to tell you if they want you to wait a month. That's cool. Wait a month for the review, but after a couple days, shoot them an email and just say, hey, it was really great to meet with you. Here's the picture of you taking a bite out of our giant bag of whatever. And I'll follow up with you next month for the review, whatever it might be. Plan a recap at the end of the first week when you're back. So if you get back on Monday morning, plan for the next Friday, so to meet with your booth staff and your team back at the office. You want to include that team back at the office so they know, one, what you've been doing the last 5 days, what was the success, what were the challenges. Include them in. They may have some really good ideas to kind of help anything that was a challenge or build off of things that were huge successes. You're also going to want to recap the potential influx in POs and orders and contacts in whatever so that your team can actually forward forecast, which is really important when it comes to sales, but also so they know what to do with their time. So, and then, and follow up with your buyers, keep that ball rolling towards the PO. You just added a huge chunk to your email list. Do something with it. I can't say that enough. Do something with it.
Yes. Don't just let it grow and sit there and then you're like, oh, in 6 months we'll send them out that we have a sale going on. #fail right there. Don't do it, guys. Do something with it. And again, the show gives you a reason. It gives you an excuse to just be top of mind by saying hey, look at this funny picture of Jerry with this ridiculous blueberry on his head. Ha ha, we loved it at Fancy Foods. And then you have another reason to follow up with them later, and again, that goes, we can go into all that with our marketing and social media stuff another time, but do something with this list that you just grew right away.
You spent a lot of money. Make sure that you're using those emails and those contacts to the fullest extent.
Yeah. So hey guys, kind of popping back in here, seeing how everybody's doing. Annie's gonna come in and say hello as well.
Hello.
So
On.
I don't what's happening with her. I think we're having some technical difficulties.
I don't know. They really want you to follow up after the show, guys. The ghost of our computer really wants you to follow up. It's a very important task.
We do have some helpers in the background here, but yes, so holy crap, guys. That was a lot of info.
Hopefully you're all still alive.
This is a real product. I thought this was the most amazing image that I came across, actually. And I was like, this is real. I haven't seen them at any of the industry things yet, but I was like, this is brilliant.
I love GMO. Yeah. I'm going to buy Holy Crap from now on.
Holy Crap breakfast cereal. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us and taking this hour and 42 minutes. We greatly appreciate it. So I think we'll sign off. Say goodbye from Czech Republic and Texas.
Hoping to work with a few of you soon.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Bye.